Hello one, hello all, it's your boy Scubinho back at it again. I'm on this side this time, and on my left, I don't know what to call him, but he's the Jrod.
What's going on, guys? How's everyone doing?
What do you want to go by?
Jarrett, J-Rod. Your choice.
Jarrett.
Your choice, Jarrett.
We'll call him the Jrod.
Find that balance.
We're here to listen to Big K.R.I.T, and we're on a trend right now because last video I did, Seb didn't know anything about Saba, which is the record we were listening to. And this time, Jarrett knows nothing about Big K.R.I.T.
Nothing. Zippity doo dah, nada.
But at least I can continue this trend of putting people on because Big K.R.I.T is a dope artist. He's been in the game for technically his first mixtape was 2005, but really his start was 2010, 2011. So I grew up with him in high school. He is a Southern artist. You can hear from pretty much all of his records. He's got a dope discography, so if you like something you hear, you got so much that you can dig into. Are you expecting anything? Is there something you're expecting?
I'm expecting a little bit of an R&B, a little bit of country influences, intertwined in his music. With the cover art, it almost makes me feel like, you're looking at the back of his head, maybe this album's just an insight into his, his past. An insight, back of the head, past, behind him, just trying to, maybe having trouble moving forward.
This is why I brought him on.
Back at his past.
This is why I brought him on.
Yeah, exactly.
This is why I brought.
I'm thinking philosophically, thinking deep here.
Sir.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Keep it original, 'cause who needs filters when digital roses don't die?
This was actually a single, South Side of the Moon, but I didn't listen to it because I was waiting for a date.
Wow, I'm honored.
A soda's always better with a sword, ain't a waste. Now here showing out without showing up. I got you, baby, 'cause you'll be there when we in the club. Black on, you.
Is that a guitar?
I did it just for us. I'm sorry.
If you didn't show me any of his other songs, and this is the first thing I ever listened to by Big K.R.I.T, it would almost make me feel like he was just an R&B singer. It was very, you wouldn't even be able to tell almost that he was a rapper, besides that second verse. This is the kind of song I would, almost I would love, go on a date with some girl, take her out, it's going great, one thing leads to another, she ends up coming back to my place, and the first song I put on as soon as we get back is this song.
Okay.
This kind of sets the mood, it's nothing that's jumping right out at you. It's not you get the point of what's going to be happening, but it's not being thrown at you.
Damn, this is the perspective we need, bruh.
So.
That's why you all on my line.
Okay.
Blowing me up all of the time. Yo, I know you're down.
I know this is your sound.
I got rooms.
Before it even finishes, I'm just now realizing that So Cool, which was the song I heard from the single, in the music video, he was doing all 70s inspired looks. So now I'm wondering if the album itself is just 70s inspired.
Yeah, there's a lot of 70s influence, almost a little bit of I don't want to go full blown Motown, but a little bit of a little bit of Motown.
That's what you get from this song.
A little bit, yeah.
Ice with the lemonade. How would you drop the blade?
That would show you right, and yeah, big 70s inspired track.
Yeah, no, that was great.
And that was very what's the word, jumpy or bubbly or poppy.
Yeah, it was. I was kind of, I just found myself kind of vibing along to it.
Groovy, funky.
Groovy. That's the word.
And fall in love with a chrome lady and probably have chrome babies, 'cause we got a real connection. And again, if they couldn't fade it, close but separated.
Perfect word to describe the song is clean.
It really, it's silky smooth, clean, like a baby's bottom.
This whole album so far is very low key.
Yeah,
it hasn't been anything that's been super jumpy.
Yeah, there's nothing that really just pops out of you and hits you in the face, almost like it smacks you right, across the face.
This is Earth, Earth. The groundedness of it all. Feet surely planted, no more head in the clouds of it all.
That was really pretty.
Yeah.
That was really, really, really pretty. It almost makes me feel like, it's almost telling a story from beginning to end. You start with, the late night drive. And then this almost felt more atmospheric, more dreamlike. So it's almost like maybe after that, that long ride, he's like, maybe putting his head down.
He's sleeping, right?
Yeah, like it almost seems dreamlike. I like the double entendre. Come out, see like come out to play. I like that.
I wonder where he's gonna take this. Like the sounds that you would associate like the sex scene in the 70s. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it almost sounds like, and not that I'm an expert, in this by any means or by any stretch of the imagination, but it almost feels like I'm watching like this 70s porno.
Yeah, that's what I was.
And like almost like you have like you had like that corny music in the background, like you knew something silly and corny was gonna happen, but like the music set it up.
Exactly. You know what? I just for some reason I pictured Anchorman.
Oh,
like if there was like a sex scene and they just didn't show it, but the song was playing and then they had the fireworks.
That's interesting.
Tailor-made suits, different flavors.
Oh,
got my Cadillac soul, no more swinging in the road.
Yeah.
Speed limit waiting at the neighbors.
This is more of the stuff I listen to.
Just for you. Just for you. Hanging in the street. I give up my time, spend you rolling with the beat. I'm only for you and only you. I play the keys. You keep me on my toes, you know I'm on my better head. I gave up all that plan just so we could do it, match.
He's basically saying, I used to do all this, but I'm done just for you. He even said that I even let you meet my mama.
Oh, I didn't
So, yeah, so this record is like him reflecting back on, I used to bend them corners, I used to do this, I used to do that, but just for you, I won't. I'll settle down.
Yeah, it's almost like, he's going through this, development when, he's been playing around and, just, fucking around with these random girls and nothing's ever been serious for him. Mm-hmm. And now it almost, transitions to the point where he wants something more serious than something that, is more substantial.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the fact that I feel like if you're putting "You Met My Mama" in a song, I feel like that means something.
No, definitely. It almost feels like the journey of the Jrod's love life. Player at heart, for years and years and years, and now you finally come into the realization that you gotta settle down to a certain extent.
You're getting ready to write a "Just for You."
Yeah, I'm coming just for you.
This is so cool. This was the first single. Definitely 70s. The whole album.
Huge.
I think we were speculating, but now it's just like confirmed.
No, definitely.
This is water. Like water. The purest form of it all.
And you got fire, you got earth, and now you got water. And it's making me think that he's almost trying to express at different points throughout this album. He's almost setting up the backdrop for the songs that come a different emotion. So like the fire, like the aggressiveness, the braggadocio, the braggadocio, type headlines. Like he's driving, he's swerving, the road song.
Yeah.
He's kind of, aggressive and playing around, maybe a little like devil on his shoulder, doesn't want to settle down. And then he gets to earth and he starts kind of contemplating, what his purpose on life is. He starts thinking, oh, do I need to settle down? Thinking about having a family, having a kid, thinking about his place on earth. And then you got water, and it's just like he's finally kind of calm and suave, and he's content with, what's been going on.
We're about to see.
In his life.
I'm worried and you love it. Cause it's big good. Never want a life for the party. Oh, yes, I know. My IG page, I barely post on it. My only ways, I never did clone it. No photo play, cause I was too hungry. But my memories are not recorded.
It plays into what you were saying in terms of like he wants to settle down, so here's like I'm boring and you love it. Like that just defines any like person who works and just holds down the house.
Yeah, it's like the stages of a relationship. At first, like it's a honeymoon phase,
exactly,
right? It's all infatuation. Yeah. You're kind of obsessed with everything. You kind of think the other person's idealistic. It's like a perfect image of the other person. And now he's getting to the point like, she knows that like he has flaws, he's boring, but like that you love my flaws for who I am, and like and you love who I am because I'm boring.
Is that why it went from so cool to the interlude to boring?
I didn't even think of that.
Because the honeymoon phase is over, and now it's just like, all right, I'm boring.
Yeah.
But we still love each other.
You still love each other, and yeah.
Living with my parents ain't that glamorous, but it'll keep us by. You a super trooper kind of queen that I can't do without. Breaking things I promise, can't be so like Nostradamus. What if we never died? Oh, just be honest. Get it out the minute, tell the pleasure. Probably playing border, y'all off in the game and blowing a bed. Put them tears, show your twerk. Tell her to try, going on live. Just a splurge on them road, kicking that. If I'm on it 9 to 5, I should work you.
Yeah.
And I never could afford you a burden. Tell me, does it matter to you? Does it really matter to you?
Just like a normal, everyday guy kind of song.
Yeah.
The last song was just talking about just like living a boring life. This one is, would it matter if I just worked a 9 to 5 or if my car was like this, you know?
Yeah, this album's really relatable. And I don't know if you did that intentionally or not, but, you know, you could tell so many people can relate to this. And I don't know if you had that in mind when making this album, because some of the other songs that you showed me in his Essential playlist, you know, there were songs that were very, very emotional, but also very specific to him, to who he was. And some people may be able to relate, but probably not the general public. This song, everyone knows what it's like to deal with someone's flaws.
What if I ain't meant to be a parent? What if I'm a lost soul damaged? What if I can't slow down the throttle? What if I can't put down the bottle? I don't want to bring a life into a world that lies about the wrongs and rights and have to shield their eyes. I'm scared they'll see. I'm scared to repeat.
He's having a bit? He's thinking about having a bit?
Yeah, and I feel like that's such a topic that people will consider or like think about before they even consider having a kid, or like before they decide they want to go ahead and have a kid. Do I even want to bring them into this world when it's so shitty? You know, the way it is right now, the climate is just like insane right now. It's a genuine question.
It's a pretty genuine and realistic question, you know. What, like, is this the right time to be bringing someone into this world? And I always think about that, especially with people who have been planning to have babies the last 2 years with all the, the craziness that's been going on.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking, like, does this ever pop in their head? Like, this thought that, like, is this the right time to have a baby? Right, yeah. And I'm not saying they're wrong or right, but it just, it makes me think a little bit more than I probably would have thought about it.
Torn between you and me. What if it's a chill from the whole ride? Even if we are faithful, sometimes little flames out.
Damn. I would assume if you're contemplating all this and you're like, am I even ready? I figured that you want to make sure that you're like ready to hold that person down, regardless, no matter what. So I wonder if that's what that breakdown was. But out of everything we heard so far, this was the song that had like the most profound meaning to it,
Yeah, definitely the most, emotional resonance attached to it. And, now it almost seems like there's a shift. A lot of it was, up to this point was very, even if it was a negative subject matter, there was an uplifting message and an uplifting, motive behind it. Yeah. Now it almost seems like it's, he's starting to be a little more pessimistic. Yeah. So I'm curious to see if the next couple of songs, however many songs are left in the album, if they take on more of a pessimistic point of view, or they take on more like, if there's more pessimism and then at the end there's optimism. I'm curious how the rest of the album plays out.
This is wind. Like wind. The turbulence of it all.
When I hear Digital Roses Don't Die, and there's been some references to this in a couple of other songs before this, it almost seems like there's some social media. He references social media, a handful of times. I think he even used the word filters.
Yeah.
Like literally, like the facades that we put up as human beings.
Yeah, he said his smile, when your smiles become filters.
Yeah, like, so maybe that's what he's talking about. I don't know. Yeah, I was really good. I'm curious.
I really want to get to the bottom of the meaning.
I lose.
Only been in love like this one time, I swear. Can't get you off my mind, I swear.
Definitely a breakup song.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about that. The last songs, every single song really has given you like a vintage 70s kind of 80s vibe. Actually like a kind of a 2000s R&B type vibe.
Yeah, I also was thinking that this kind of strayed away from the 70s kind of like sound. I was like, this doesn't really fit well into that time, but yeah, it definitely was.
Give me like a 2000s like R&B.
I definitely felt that.
Yeah, I liked it. It was just interesting that differentiation.
from like the narrative that we were kind of like conjuring up till that point, I didn't really expect a breakup song to come up.
I'm a player. Now I settle down, and I finally give up that Playboy life, and now I finally settle in, and now it was fucking all for broke. It was it fucking sucked.
Yeah.
So I mean, I
guess it just shows like the realistic.
That's
life.
That's life. Whoa.
Wet lashes, shot glasses,
Hey.
white ashes, don't need you anyway.
We're definitely back in the 70s right now.
Yeah.
Play without me, I'm on skates, you on feet, my shit laid with no crease.
It's the only song that can do that too. When you like recover from like a breakup or like that in between time when you're like not okay, and then when you're okay, that weird time,
and you're almost like trying to prove to your friends and the people around you that you are okay, and
but
so like you're really like you may be a little bit, but you're really not. Like let's we try to bullshit.
Exactly, but it's hard to find the balance of like in that time, especially of like where is the balance of I am okay or I'm not okay, and I feel like this song kind of like plays into that perfectly because he said maybe it's too wet lashes. I assume the girl's crying. He said he's brokenhearted, but he's still doing this. Maybe it just paints a picture of like this is two heartbroken people kind of just fucking around for now.
And he's got to do something to numb the pain away.
Exactly, yeah.
Skinny painted like a Willy Wonka rapper. Taylor made the suit, so that ain't even dabble. Play it with my stature. Stepping out, clean on. Had a horizontal kind of lean on. While I screwed up, do the double cut too.
I felt really down, like while listening to that song. Like almost, like I couldn't even focus on the lyrics and focus on, I was just kind of like entranced with the music, and I just felt myself kind of slooping in my seat.
Okay.
It almost reminds me of like, have you ever seen Get Out?
Yeah.
Like the sunken place?
The sunken place?
That's all. I feel like I was going to the sunken place. That was good.
But digital roses don't have any change. Hope we don't do the same. This digital bouquet, I hope it brightens up your day.
I think we're two very quality people when it comes to listening to an album from start to finish. I think a lot of people are so obsessed with, they see a song and it's so easy, instant gratification. Back in the day, you would have to listen to you listen to the whole album, from start to finish. And now it's like you click on one single, you can just listen to that single. Yeah. And you're not really, they may be catchy and they may pull you in, but it's not really telling you a story. And what I love about this album is that it really, it painted like the picture of a relationship. Yeah. Of like a regular relationship.
Literally, as each song was going, we were like turning the pages of the story. And like that last song just made me feel like this whole album is just like, maybe he was dating someone, track by track, this is how it went, and then it didn't work out, but this is my roses to you. Maybe like I think in the last track he said, I know how you like roses or something.
My ode to you.
Like,
this is like
our legacy. He's giving this to someone. I'm thinking of Drake right now in my head. But his last album, Certified Lover Boy, I feel like a lot of people are just like, oh, it's just regular Drake. Like, you gotta, like, do something different to catch the eye, whether it's good or bad, whether you walk away with something good or something bad that you didn't like. At least this artist is trying something different at this point in his career. That's what I love about this. Even though I didn't walk away with, like, some Big K.R.I.T bangers that I kind of wanted, I think there are one or two where he just kind of goes in on rapping. But I think I got a dope, like, story, a dope narrative from this album, and as far as like re-listening, I really want to nail down on what he is actually trying to say on the album.
Yeah, no, that was great.
Digital Roses Don't Die. This was the Jrod's premiere / debut / Grand Slam entrance into the fifth row.
It's been a dream come true.
How do you feel about Big K.R.I.T now that you dipped your toes into Big K.R.I.T? I
actually, listening to some of the essentials playlist that you sent me in this, I actually like this even more. Just because I don't come from necessarily too much of a rap background, I like a lot of, the feelings that are brought about by, like, singing and, like, the lyrics combined with, like, I feel more emotion in the tone. Maybe that's just what I was raised on. Yeah. I wasn't really raised on rap. But this was fantastic, and I was pleasantly surprised about how much I enjoyed it.
I can't say that a lot of his discography is going to be the same, but I feel like you can get what Big K.R.I.T does do in a lot of his albums. He says something.
Yeah.
And this album, he didn't say it directly, but we got like we got something conceptually to hang on to.
Yeah.
I think that's dope.
But I think that's going to linger on more than something that's even more concrete because
Exactly,
it makes you think. It makes your wheels turn a little bit more.
Yeah. Digital Roses Don't Die. This is the 5th row, and I'm gone.
Good night, guys. Peace out.